Let us start our today's session. In today's session, we are going to learn some special types of parallelogram. Some types of parallelograms we have learned in our previous session. And remaining, that is only one square. We will discuss about square in today's session. Also, we are going to solve exercise 3.4. Okay, so let us start our today's session. Some special parallelograms. In that, we are going to learn square. In previous session, we have learned rectangle, right? What is rectangle? Rectangle is a parallelogram having opposite sides are same. Also, all angles of rectangles are of 90 degree and all are same. And diagonals of rectangles are bisect each other and they are of equal length. Okay, we have learned this in our previous session. Now, square. All of you know that square, right? We have learned in your previous classes. Square is a parallelogram. Square is also parallelogram. Since what is the property of parallelogram? Opposite sides are parallel. If a quadrilateral having opposite sides are parallel, then it is parallelogram. So, in square also opposite sides are parallel. So, square is also a parallelogram. Square is also a rectangle. Okay, since opposite sides are same, in rectangle opposite sides are same. So, square is also rectangle. So, square is a rectangle having all sides are equal. So, all the properties of rectangles are true for the square. So, square has all the properties of rectangle. Only the additional property is what? All sides of squares are equal. So, look at the square here. A, B, C, D is a square. All sides are equal. AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to A. Also, all angles are same and they are of 90 degree like rectangle. So, that's why I told you rectangle is a square is a rectangle. Okay, since square satisfies all the property of rectangle with additional property is what? All sides are same. So, what about diagonals of square? Diagonals are AC and BD and both the diagonals are same. That is diagonals of square having same length. Also, they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so here diagonals of square they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so here we get OB is equal to OD and OC is equal to OA. Why? Since diagonal of square are, this is very important, perpendicular bisector of each other. Diagonals, we have learned these diagonals of rhombus are perpendicular bisector of each other, right? And diagonals of squares also perpendicular bisector of each other. Also, they have same length. Okay, we have learned diagonals of rectangles are also of same length. Diagonals of squares are also same length. They are bisector of each other. They are perpendicular bisector of each other. So, what are the properties of squares? First one, all sides are equal. Second one, all angles are same and are of 90 degree. And diagonals of square are perpendicular bisector of each other. And diagonals are of same length. Since they are perpendicular bisector, obviously they are of same length. Okay, so we understood square. So here we completed all the quadrilaterals. Okay, we have completed here white, then kite, trapezium, parallelogram, then rhombus, rectangle, square. Okay, so you have to remember all the properties of this quadrilateral. Using all this property, we are going to solve exercise 3.4. So before whenever you solve exercise 3.4, before that just read all the properties for the quadrilaterals and then go to solve exercise 3.4. Okay. So our first question is true or false. Okay. Here there are some statements and we have to check whether these statements are true or they are false. So one by one. First one is all rectangles are squares. We have given that all rectangles are square. So remember properties of rectangle and then properties of square. In rectangle only opposite sides are equal, but in squares all sides are equal. So is the rectangle square? No, since all sides of rectangles are not equal, so rectangles are not squares. So this statement is false. So I will here this statement is false. Okay, next one. All rhombus are parallelogram. All rhombus are parallelogram. So parallelogram is what? Opposite sides are parallel, and all opposite sides of rhombus are also parallel, right? Opposite sides of rhombus are also parallel. So all the rhombus are parallelogram. This statement is true. So we can write this as true. Okay. Third one. All squares are rhombus and also rectangles. All squares are. What are the properties of square? All sides are equal. All opposite sides are parallel. Right? So in rhombus also all sides are equal. Yes, the square is rhombus. Also rectangles. All the squares are rectangles. In rectangles only opposite sides are same. And opposite sides of square are also same. All the sides of squares are same. So opposite sides are also same. That means all the squares are rhombus and also rectangles. Since all the sides of squares are same. Okay. So this statement is true. Okay. And this is true. All squares are not parallelograms. All squares are not parallelograms. So remember the property of square and parallelogram. Okay. In square opposite sides are parallel. Okay. In square opposite sides are parallel. So that means all squares are parallelogram. But here the statement is all squares are not parallelogram. So this statement is false. Okay. All kites are rhombus. Next one. All kites are rhombus. In rhombus, all the sides are same. Okay, in rhombus, all the sides are same. But what about kite? Do you remember? In kite, only adjacent pair of sides or pair of adjacent sides having same length. Okay, do you remember that kite? This is diagram of kite. Only adjacent sides having same length. That means kite is not rhombus. Okay, so this statement is false. Next, all rhombus are kite. All rhombus are kite. Okay. In kite, adjacent pair of sides are equal, and in rhombus, all the sides are equal. So, if the all sides are equal, then adjacent sides are also equal. So, all the rhombus are kite. This statement is true. Next one, all parallelogram are trapezium. All parallelogram are trapezium. Now in parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel, and in trapezium having only one pair of parallel line. So parallelograms are trapezium, but trapeziums are not parallelogram. Since in trapezium only one pair of parallel lines. Okay, and in parallelogram opposite sides are parallel. So remember students, all the parallelograms are trapezium, but trapeziums are not parallelogram. Here the statement, all the parallelograms are trapezium, so it is true. Next one, all squares are trapezium. Yes, in square opposite sides are parallel. That means square contains one side of parallel line. In square opposite sides are parallel and trapezium exercise. Okay? Now go for the second. Identify all the quadrilaterals that have. We have to name or identify the types of quadrilaterals that have. First question, four sides of equal length. That is the quadrilaterals having four sides of equal length. Now tell me, which quadrilaterals have four sides of equal length? Yes, correct. First one is rhombus. In rhombus is a quadrilateral having four sides of equal length. Then square. Yes, rhombus and square, four sides of equal length. Then four right angles. Four right angles. Which are they? Right angles? Yes, rectangle having all angles are right angle. Also squares having all angles are right angles. So answer is rectangle and square are the quadrilateral having four right angles. Okay. Now third question. Explain how a square is. Now I am going to just explain you this question. You have to write briefly in your notebook. Okay? You have to write all this exercise briefly in your notebook. I am going to just explain you how the answer of this question. Okay? Explain how a square is. That is, we have to explain how the square is a quadrilateral. Is the square is quadrilateral? Yes. Since only quadrilateral means what? Having only four sides. Quadrilateral is a polygon, right? Having four sides. So we can write as quadrilateral is square is a quadrilateral because of four sides. You have to write this as because of four sides. Next one, a square is a parallelogram. How the square is a parallelogram? Since opposite sides are parallel, so square is a parallelogram. So you have to write this as opposite sides are in square. Opposite sides are parallel. Therefore, it is a parallelogram. You have to write briefly in your notebook. Okay. Third, how square is a rhombus? How square is a rhombus? Since in square all sides are equal. And for rhombus, all sides are also equal. So square is a rhombus. So you have to write, since all the sides of squares are equal, therefore square is a rhombus. Right? Next one, a rectangle. Why square is a rectangle? Since square is a parallelogram. Yes, square is a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are of same length. So therefore, square is a rectangle. So you have to write, in square, opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are of same length. Therefore, square is a rectangle. Okay students, do you understood how to write this? Yes. Now fourth question. Name the quadrilaterals whose diagonals. Name the quadrilaterals whose diagonals, first one, bisect each other. Now you have to tell the name of the quadrilaterals whose diagonals are bisect each other. We have already learned that diagonals of rhombus, they are bisect each other. Diagonals of rectangles are bisect each other. Diagonals of squares are also bisect each other. Diagonals of parallelogram are bisect each other. Right? So, how can we write this as? First one is parallelogram. Parallelogram, diagonals of parallelograms are bisect each other. Then rectangle, square and rhombus are bisect each other. Diagonals of parallelogram, rectangle, square and rhombus are bisect each other. Second one, name the quadrilaterals whose diagonals are perpendicular bisector of each other. Okay, we have learned that diagonals of squares are perpendicular bisector diagonals of square and rhombus are perpendicular bisector of each other. Last one, name the quadrilaterals whose diagonals are equal. Whose diagonals are equal. Now look at this square. In square here, AC and BD are diagonals and they are of equal length. AC is equal to BD. Since they are of perpendicular bisector of each other, they are of equal length. So we can write here square. Diagonals of square are of equal length. Also diagonals of rectangle are of equal length. Okay, and perpendicular bisector that is rhombus. Rhombus, diagonals of rhombus are also of equal length. Diagonals of square are of equal length. Also, we have learned that diagonals of rectangle, they are not perpendicular bisector. Diagonals of rectangles are only bisect each other, but they are of same length. So square, rectangle and rhombus. Okay students, so up to this you understood that you have to remember all the properties of quadrilateral. Okay. Question number 5. Explain why a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. Explain why a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. So students, you remember that we have learned convex polygon and concave polygon. Yes, convex polygon means what? All the diagonals of that polygon lies in only interior part. Okay, these polygons are called as convex polygon. Okay, so here we have to show that, we have to explain why a rectangle is convex quadrilateral. So look at this rectangle ABCD. This is a rectangle and AC and BD are diagonals of the rectangle, and both the diagonals of rectangle lies on the interior part of the rectangle, right? So according to definition of convex polygon, if the diagonals are lies in interior part of that polygon, then it is convex polygon. Here diagonals of rectangle lies in interior part, so therefore rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. So students, you have to write here, since for the figure ABCD, ABD and AC are diagonals, they are lies in interior part of rectangle, therefore rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. Okay, do you understood how to write? Yes. Now 6th question, and it is last question of our exercise. ABC is a right angle triangle and O is midpoint of the side opposite to the right angle. Look at it. ABC is a right angle triangle and O is the midpoint of side opposite to right angle. So opposite to right angle, that means opposite to right angle, that AC is the side and O is the midpoint of this side. Okay. Explain why O is equidistant from ABC. We have to explain that why O is equidistant. Equidistant that is same distance from the point A, C and D. Why the point O has the same distance from the points A, B and C. Okay, so look at here. For our help, we complete this rectangle here. I draw these dotted lines and these two diagonals. Okay, now look at here. Here for this rectangle ABCD, here this is a right angle triangle. I will make this as a rectangle. So here BC, the line BC bar is parallel to AB bar, right? It is BC bar is parallel to AB bar. Also AB bar is parallel to CD bar, right? AB bar is parallel to you have to write all these examples in your notebook. So here we complete our third chapter, understanding quadrilaterals. Okay students, you have to complete all the exercises in your notebook and send me on the mobile group. So for this quadrilaterals, you have to remember all the properties for the quadrilaterals. Then only you can easily solve all the examples of this chapter. Okay students, have a nice day.